Well, we're starting a new segment here on the channel. It's about what's in my kit. So this is what I use. There's plenty of ways to skin the cat, but this is what I've worked out over the years of backpack and backcountry hunting. That's what this is mainly going to be focused on. Gear's come a long ways. It's pretty amazing, the evolution of gear. But again, you know, there's no substitute for hard work and you know, gritting it out. You have to have, you know, a little bit of that spirit inside you, because even with the best gear, sometimes things aren't going to be all that comfortable. So everyone is going to tell you that you get this, that, and the other thing, and you're bang on. Well, there's some truth to that, but realistically, it takes a lot of training. You got to work on it, especially if you're getting a little older. You're going to have to do the work in the off season, particularly for backcountry hunting. You know, if you want to do more punch hikes and logging road hunting, well, you know, some of this kit is definitely not going to be necessary. But we're going to start with what's arguably the most important part of any backcountry kit, and that's your boots. So I got two sets of boots here today that I'm going to talk about. One that I've worn quite a bit, one that's fairly new to me, and we'll go over the use case of what these are for. So these are the Lowa Tibets. This is my main hunting boot. This one it's uninsulated, so I can run this from fairly early season, and you know, I've ran these even fairly late into the season. I think I'm going to pick up a set of these Tibets with the 400 grams of Thinsulate in them. But right now, this has been my go-to, and I've taken them with boot warmers pretty late into the year in some pretty low temperatures. But these are a great stiff mountain boot, so these have everything you want. They're very competitive when it comes to a price point. Like, I spent the last 5 years before I switched over to Lowas in Crispies, and yeah, they got some great boots as well. Well, I did have some manufacturing issues, some wear and tear issues that I thought were, you know, the boots that had a lot of life left in them, but there was a couple of the components, the lace locks on my Thors and the toe kick on my Nevadas, that I felt, you know, didn't live up to the longevity of the boot. So that was unfortunate. So I got kicking tires on a new boot to try out. I wasn't really all that aware of Lowa's boot line. You know, I'd always sort of, you know, mistakenly just thought they were sort of a little more old school. These guys have a lot of tech built into their boots. These are up on par with all of the top boots that are out there. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. There's one feature that really took it to the next level. That's these lower lace locks here. So they open up like that and they close like that. And when you cinch down on the lace, just like that, they automatically camber close. They trap the lace. So no matter what, and especially when you're wearing gaiters and you're backpacking in and it's raining, you don't have to take your backpack off and your gaiters off and get inside. It's pouring rain, because once your lower boot loosens up on you, you have to stop. I mean, you're risking injury. You're gonna really pay the price for blisters or having issues with your feet. You really want your lower foot locked in on these boots, or you're definitely going to have issues. So that is a beautiful feature. So that will not come undone until you flip them open at the end of the day. So once that's cambered closed, then they've got these great heel locks. Boom. You know, most of these good mountain boots these days have these heel locks. I like the system that Lowa's using here with the metal clip, not just a nylon loop or a Kevlar loop. And because it's out on that, it really cambers it over, and it really transfers a lot of energy back to that heel to keep you locked in. Because I'm sure, as you've worn boots, if you've done any hiking in backcountry, if that rear heel's moving, you're gonna be stopping and putting some Luco tape on your heels there, because it's Blister City in no time. It's got a nice full round. I mean, you know, they're just basic, solid mountain boots. Nice and stiff. You know, it's up there in around that 3.5 to 4 flex range for it. So it's nice and stiff, which is what I like. You can toe kick in. You can use the outside of your foot or your inside arch of your foot, and you can really step your way up the mountains. They're Vibram soles. It's just a nice, solid nubuck boot. So you treat these, they're waterproof forever. It's got a full Gore-Tex liner, hence the GTX. So yeah, they've been tough. Put about half a season on these. Gonna really put them through the ringer this year and see where it goes. Ultimately, yeah, I'm super happy. I'll update you at the end of the season how these guys fare. So I've got about half season on these guys now, and honestly, you can hardly tell I use them. So yeah, these have been good, and this is the newest edition here for me. New, so they're Lowa as well. These are the Alpine Expert 2s. They're also a GTX or full Gore-Tex boot. These are sitting at just under 2 pounds a boot. The Tibets are sitting at, I forgot to mention that, at about 2 pounds a boot. So for mountain boots, these are light. If you go ultralight, they're typically not going to last. You're going to have some durability issues. There are some lighter options out there that you might be able to get away with, but for backpacking, I don't think you could beat, you know, a 2 pound boot is kind of like the sweet spot for what you're looking for. This one's got the full round as well. It's all nubuck leather. It's just, you know, it's a crazy color green, but I'll get them out there in the dirt and you won't even be able to tell mid-season. So these are going to be for my stone sheep hunt and my goat hunt this year. Well, hopefully goat hunt. We'll see how LEH treats me here. But these have 400 grams of thinsulate in them, so it's not too much. It does, you know, there's a lot of warm weather. You can even get away with 400 grams of thinsulate in there. That insulation and these tongues, they vent extremely well, so not too bad that way. This one here has only been out for like 1.5 training hikes, so you know, just enough to get a feel to them. Again, no break-in like the Tibet. They just feel great on your feet off the hop. If you don't like stiff boots, you know, these probably won't work for you because they're even another level stiffer than the Tibets. These are up in that like 4.5 flex range. So, you know, but when you're really carrying, you know, if you're going to pack out a stone sheet and you're going to have all your gear in the stone on your back and be running in that 120 pound range of a pack, that's why that is what this boot's job is to get you off the hill with a real heavy load, you know, without blowing out an ankle. So it makes things real nice. Again, it's got the heel lock system. It doesn't have the cam locks on this one. It does have all ball bearings in the lay size here for the lower foot, which is nice because then you get a real even pressure over your whole foot. The Tibets also have the ball bearings in it, so they just lace up real nice. This has got that quad tongue loop here where you can have lace on both sides and really freeze the tongue out so it's not moving around rubbing on your foot. Vibram sole as well. Both of them have very good tread patterns, very good for ascending and descending slopes. These guys will take a full crampon, so if you're going to be pushing up, you know, after late season goat or into the mountains when they're whether you're hunting or not, when it's going to be snow and ice and those big frozen in snow drifts that are up there, you know, this gives you the opportunity to put on a really aggressive set of crampons and make your life much easier and safer. So yeah, that's about it for these. Again, I'll wait till the end of season to really give the verdict on these. The Tibets, I kind of know they're working. Like they've been ground up and down the hill, like I said. So those are working for sure. I'm hoping these are gonna work just as well. and just for that special use case that I have for, you know, packing heavy loads out, you know, way deep. Like last year's sheep hunt, we put on 80K in the mountains. That's a lot of running and gunning. So this will be the boot this year. So stay tuned for more videos like this. We're going to go through, you know, we're going to break the pack down a bite at a time and just sort of have a brain dump like this. I always find it helpful when I get reviews from actual people out there hunting with it, and people that have used this stuff.